I was saying to Brandon earlier, Joe, that I think this content marketing, I've been teaching it for a long time. Nobody listens to it because they don't think it's sexy. But the fact of the matter is, this is really how you get noticed if you do specialty inspections or you get noticed by the target audience that you're looking for. So many things that you can do with content marketing once you understand who your target audience really is. A lot of times, home inspectors think everybody is their target audience, and that really isn't true. And I'll tell you a little story. We always specialized in the folks that were affluent for a couple of reasons. They already had multiple home inspections and they knew quality differed between inspectors and they weren't price sensitive. Okay, so everything that we did, we marketed to the affluent. All of the target audience we tried to reach who had affluent clients, we brought them in. Now, if you were just anybody else and you wanted to pay our price for an inspection, perfect, we'd take you. But we didn't spend a nickel marketing you. Okay, so I think what happens is when home inspectors niche down, we had a friend and he's retired now, Rich, specialized in log homes in Wisconsin. And he was known as the log home specialist. Okay, so what we have to say, and I tease when I write these articles, what's your superpower? What is it you like? Do you specialize in first-time home buyers? Do you specialize this or that or the other? So once you understand that, then content marketing is a way to get your target audience to do business with you. And not only that, but it also gets you the types of inspections that you want and don't want. So I think it's a really important topic, and this is why I really want to discuss it with everybody. Keith, welcome, sir,
Good morning.
to the call. So I wanted to just get in here and discuss it. So a couple of questions I just put down here because I think this is really important. What is content marketing and why is it important to home inspector lead generation? Let me go back one. So I want to really ask first, um, do you guys understand content marketing? When I say content marketing, do you know what I mean by that? First and foremost, I guess, anybody, Brandon, let's start with you. I know that you do because we talk about it all the time, but let's talk about what content marketing means to you as a home inspector.
I mean, anybody getting on social media, they're looking at content, right? That's what the content is. And so what's really just become so popular are those short little video clips. But I mean, it doesn't have to be limited to that either. It can be a post of informational things, something that people are interested in and can relate to. I mean, that's I guess my definition, I guess, in a nutshell.
Mhm. That content really doesn't mean one specific thing. It means a variety of different pieces of content or media
Yeah.
that you can use to attract your target audience that you're looking for. Um, so I think that's a big thing that a lot of home inspectors are missing. But why is it important for lead generation? Keith, are you using content marketing now to generate leads for your home inspection business or no? I mean, some home inspectors aren't doing it. So
Well,
there's no right or wrong.
we're kind of relying on you guys to do that for us right now, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
And that's panned out very well. We get a lot of calls right off our Google page, and they find us on the web, which has been great. And we just keep on pushing with that. We try to, we do some Facebook marketing and Facebook ads, and that works. But mostly internet searches is what's driving a lot of our work right now.
I
A
think
lot, a
one of
lot, a lot of our agents are very, very slow right now. That I don't know if that's across the United States right now, but our sales are real down right now. People are just not buying. I don't know if anybody wants to chime in on that.
I can tell you that across the country, it's a mixed bag. In the bigger markets, we have clients that are very good marketers and they're swamped. And then we have clients in smaller markets that are very good marketers and they're less swamped.
Right.
So it's really a numbers game, the number of units being sold, because you guys know, even in 2007 and 2008, houses were being bought and sold. So, but the number of units available for inspection are way down.
Yes.
I think after the election, people are waiting. Honestly, Keith, Beth, and I, have been looking for a piece of property. I probably said it before, and I said to Beth, I don't think we're going to make any moves until after the election. It's too uncertain what's going to happen.
Right.
We already hold 2 Florida properties, and I'd like to buy a property in another state besides that. So I'm just a little bit concerned to do it. So, and I'm a risk taker.
I
So,
hear you.
people that aren't are sitting tight for sure. So it's a mixed bag across the country, where you
And
live and
it's
that kind of
funny,
thing.
Ken, our market right now is high-end markets.
Mhm.
1.3, 1.8 million, which is, not the norm around here. People are buying, new construction, waiving home inspections. We're trying to, capture that market a little bit, but they don't have the money. And now with this new law that came out, one new ruling that came out, that they have to, pay their buyer's agent. That's really slowing things down. I've heard a lot of agents said, a lot of people don't want to sign it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
We knew that was going to happen. But let me just say something, Keith, because you just made a little light bulb go off on a story I wanted to share with you. You know the 1.3 and the 1.8 million dollars homes that you're doing? Why
right.
wouldn't you position yourself as the luxury home inspector? You're the home inspector for luxury homes. And I'll tell you a little story. Carlos Gonzalez, one of our good friends, and been knowing him a long time and been a customer. What he did was he understood, he lives in Miami, and he understood that they had a lot of buyers that were coming from other countries. Okay, and the buyers were never going to be there. The motors on the drapes were $30,000.
Hmm.
They had everything in there was so high end and outside the scope of the standard home inspection. So what he did, we worked with him and he repositioned himself as the inspector for luxury condominiums. Okay, so if you had somebody from an Arab country or another, he worked with those agents to get that business. And what they did was they went above and beyond the standards of practice in checking high-end appliances. They checked all of the high-end electronics. They checked the systems, the electronic systems. They checked the drapes, everything. They did everything, and they charged a premium fee. And what happens is we built a page for his website, a landing page for those customers to come there. They didn't come to his regular page, okay, to his homepage. They came to that landing page. That URL drove them to that landing page on their website. And I think, Keith, what happens is if you continue to see the trend you're doing, we should position you that way as well.
I know for sure how we're gathering those or grabbing those high ends is the add-ons, the mold, the pool, the generators inspections. That's if we can do all in one inspection and the agent doesn't have to go out and start soliciting other vendors, that has helped us quite a bit where we can just do all inspections all at one time.
So I think what
Which
happens
is an
is we
old
should,
which is an old story, but
yeah, no,
it's,
no, but
it's
people
true
aren't doing
it's
it.
true to form. It's true to form.
Yeah. So well, I think what we should do is sit down and go over this and say, okay, what services would people, luxury home buyers in your market do? And then let's craft a page for that. And see what happens is when we write, everything in content marketing starts with a blog post. Okay, if you start with a blog post, then you can take social media from it, right? You can produce a video from it, right? Everything that you want to do from content marketing starts with a blog post. That's certainly how it starts in our firm as well. And I write hundreds of blog posts a year. Okay. And I mean, we can showcase some of our publication sites that you guys probably aren't even familiar with, where we write these pieces of content. But we could position ourselves through the content to support that page. Okay, and then luxury home buyers come in, they see those keywords. Guess what happens? They see your page, they see your media associated with it, they select you. Okay, also, we can also recruit the agents for that. That says, hey, we have this new program, luxury home program, and we're the only home inspector in the market offering it for your clients this way. And here's what the package includes. And even help them cross promote with some materials that they could give, electronic materials they could give to their clients. So to be sure to select you. So content marketing allows you to position yourself in the market to get the home buyers that you want or home sellers that you want. So lead generation is easy once you understand who your target audience is. In your case, Keith, it's going to be high-end luxury buyers. I can think
Right.
of the other company that you're thinking about starting as well. I mean, not everybody's going to be your target audience, only with the people that have the appliance you're wanting to deal with.
That's right.
Everybody else is not your target audience. So
Correct.
when we develop content for that, then what happens, we'll start with blog posts, and then we'll move from that, from social media, we'll do video, we'll do all kind of pieces from that blog post, but you only have to do it once, and then pieces
Right.
get cut from there. So I would encourage each one of you to say, do I have a target audience? Is there a particular segment of the market I could target so I can control the number of inspections I get for my favorite group? Okay, and Rich, his was log cabins. He loved log cabins. I don't know if he lived in one, but everybody in the state knew him as a log cabin home inspection specialist. So if there was a log cabin, his name came right up for the inspection. So content marketing is a way to position yourself in the market for what you want to sell once you identify who your target audience is. And it's really the only way for lead generation today. And we're going to talk a minute more about it. Okay. Any idea, guys, what types of content benefits the home inspectors more than any other? Take a guess. I mean, there ain't no wrong answer.
Mold.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. So, I would not disagree with that. There are, when you look at the keyword phrases historically, and I haven't looked at them recently, when you took all of the phrases people looked mold up with, there were more than 1 million searches a month. Okay. So mold is a content topic that's very important, right? If you do mold, do you think you should have a landing page where you send mold people that are interested in mold?
Definitely.
Okay, so there's a way that we're using content to generate leads from people who are interested in mold inspections. The classic example. So now that we've identified our target audience potentially as mold, people are interested in a mold inspection, what media types could we use to really garner their attention and to get them to know us, like us, and trust us as the inspector? What platforms would we use? Any idea? Where are people going most? Do people read or watch more?
Some
Watch.
type of video.
There you go. I mean, I agree with you 100%. So we write a blog post, and then from that blog post, we produce a script for the video. Okay. And then what happens is people come and consume the video. Where can we put the video? I mean, there's multiple video platforms, TikTok, Instagram. You can put it on Facebook. You can put it on your website landing page. You can put it at YouTube, Rumble, Daily Motion. I could go on and on.
Yeah.
I know our team has narrowed down the top video platforms based for our target audience, and we send them all there. So we could produce a quick video. Okay, Brandon, what do you think? I mean, I think video is a pretty important thing. Now, I don't use TikTok much, but this seems to be pretty popular.
Yeah, we use Facebook quite a bit, and then we also use Instagram probably the most. And so we're working on building our own following as well. But yeah, I mean that's the stuff that always gets the most engagement is video content. You know, a lot of times it's the funny things we find, and we can get into more details on some of that stuff later on, I think. But you know, the videos is obviously where you're getting the most bang for your buck, you know, your most views, and that's what people want to see.
So one of the things is we have a list, we have an aggregator that we subscribe to, and every question that's being asked about a home inspection service, we have access to those questions. So consumers are asking certain things on Google, we have access to those questions. So what if one of the questions with a lot of search says, how do I determine if the mold in my shower is black mold and dangerous to my family? Could we write a blog post about that?
Oh yeah.
And then from that, could we produce a video?
Yep.
And from that blog post, could we produce some social media posts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, could we take the video and put it on our website landing page? Okay, I mean, when you see everything, see, people say, oh, I have a website. Think about a website. What is a website? A website is really just an electronic coat closet, right? Think of it as a coat closet. And the content is hung on that website. Okay, so it's not the website, it's the content on the website. that is what gets you business. Okay, so the content can be videos, it can be blogs, it can be all of these things on there. But one of the things about it, this is why we have service pages, so people can come and see the services that you offer. Okay, but there's a lot more to it. On your blog, that's attached to your home inspection website, what happens is we're answering questions. If you're a premium newsletter subscriber, then what we do is we do all those things, but we put those blog posts on your blog, those posts on your blog. Then we make sure those show up in the search engines. So when that blog post shows up into the search engine for that person that's interested in mold, where do they land? On your website.
Right.
On your website.
Yeah.
Okay, see how powerful this is? They watch a video. You know what happens is when they come to your website, they get engaged. We can tell you how engaged people are with your content on your website. But couldn't you drive people from YouTube over to your landing page or another post on your website that offers them some kind of special discount or service? Maybe you bundle. I hate discounts. Maybe you can bundle services. You know, not only do you need a mold test, but hey, how about something that goes with it? You know, could you do interviews with mold remediators? Okay. Could you do, I mean, hopefully you test for mold if you're writing blog posts about it. If you don't, then that's not your target audience. You should be doing something else. But you could use a different service, radon, pool and spa, you know, whatever, termites, you know, whatever it is that you do.
Yeah.
And then we can build a landing page for that. Okay, Brandon, we got a landing page for you for preferred vendors.
Yeah.
And I mean, so we have a landing page on websites for everything, but your website is really just to put your content on. It's a place to hang your content. That's it.
Mhm.
So the content is what sells, not your website. But you know the mistake that home inspectors make a lot of times, if you try to please everybody, you know, you end up pleasing no one. Okay, because one size does not fit all. Okay, so if you've got some special services you offer, why aren't we driving traffic to those landing pages on your website?
Yeah.
Why would we drive somebody interested in mold to your homepage? See what I'm saying? And you know where they're going to go? The link in your mold post or your mold video brings them back to your website.
Mhm.
All right, so you control where they go based on the content they're consuming. I mean, this is a powerful concept. I hope you guys really get this because I mean, this is super powerful. And I'll show you some examples of how we use it as we move forward. Dill will pull some websites up of ours that we own that for the Home Inspector Help owns. Okay. Think about this. I talked about it a few minutes ago about positioning yourself as an industry expert. Okay. So Brandon, have you used the concept? Is there anything in your market that you do that you'd like to do more of? For instance, would you like to position yourself as this or that in the marketplace? Have you thought through that? That's a real important thing. If you guys only take one thing from the call tonight, I'd love for you to go home and say, I'd like to be known in my market for this. And then let's have a subsequent conversation about how we make that happen for you. We marketed to the affluent. That's all we were interested in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for us, we've always tried to position, and I don't know if this is really the answer you're looking for, but try to put ourselves in a position of the premium full service white glove inspection company that we, you know, one-stop shop, that whole concept. You know, we've made some content actually for some of the high-end homes and kind of tried to position ourselves as kind of the affluent type inspection company that does those higher end, you know, estate level type of homes. So that's where we've tried to become, and that also on top of that allows us to price accordingly, right?
So what happens is with us, because I wanted to position our company, not that I want to, I did position our company to be the luxury home buyer. I identified people that sold luxury homes, that listed them and sold them. And so what happens is Coldwell Banker had a program and they invited me over to be their speaker. And what happened was your home had to be listed by them and the home sales price had to be in excess of $1 million. Now, this was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was the only speaker. Okay. And what I did was talk to them about things that they could do to their home. Basically, think about pre-listing inspection conversation. Okay. What things could you do today to make that $1 million+ home more sellable? Okay. From a home inspection perspective. And then they would call me on the phone and ask me these questions and that kind of thing. I built those kinds of relationships where we got invited to those events. Okay. And because I'll speak anywhere 5 people show up, I'll speak.
Mhm.
Okay. Less than 5, not so much. The bigger the crowd, the better. But the fact of the matter is that that really worked out very well. Now, a lot of times, as just a charity thing, we did one thing or the other. For instance, I spoke a ton at a seminar for people that weren't in our market. They weren't our target audience, but they were people that were credit challenged and other things. And they couldn't buy a house today, but they were working toward it through this specific program. And the lady that ran the program gave us tons of business, okay, outside of this. But I would speak there. It was like we could only do certain Saturdays, so like 20 Saturdays a month. I would go there and speak. I mean, sorry, a year, not a month. A year, I meant. So what happened was, even if those people bought a house 3 years later, they called us. Okay, so these are the kinds of, once you identify what's your niche in the market, start looking who has these types of properties or who you can connect with.
Mhm.
One of the things that we did in Georgia, and especially in the metro Atlanta area, we had a ton of basements and crawl space that leaked. Okay, so you know what I did? I did 5 webinars with the top waterproofing company president in the metro Atlanta area. And we talked about everything. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed, he was a great guy. We enjoyed each other's company. We laughed. We told these stories, but people took away information that they could use. Okay, so what happens is we put that on our website. He put it on his website, and guess what? People that were buying those homes, especially luxury homes with a problem, we got calls, and so did they. And they would refer us for inspections too. So once you identify what's my niche, find people who are involved in that.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, Rich always marketed the Historic Society, other places. So he got known. All right. So think about what it is, but positioning is everything. See, when you don't position as yourself as an expert, you know what? You compete on price. How many of you guys like competing on price? Not me. Yeah. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Thanks. Here's what happens. I need a home inspection. How much does it cost? No, that's not the way we want the conversation to start. We want to say, hey, Joe, you know what happens is I got your name from Brandon. He thought you did a great job and recommended I call you. What I wanted to find out is, when could you come out? So when you position yourself in the market and people view you as the expert, price is a secondary consideration instead of a primary consideration. Okay, so positioning is a very, very important thing. The Savvy Inspector, and now Home Inspector Help, positions ourselves as a thought leader in the industry, as a company that provides action-oriented information for our clients to succeed, to increase their sales and profits. Okay, so that's how we're known, and we position ourselves in that more and more. Okay, so positioning is a very important thing. So I want you to remember, the takeaway from this call really is, what are you going to be? What's your superpower? What is it you're going to get back to work and think through this? Okay, what can I do to position myself? Maybe you want to be the radon specialist. Maybe you want to be known for a pool and spa. Maybe you have a pest control company associated with your home inspection business, and you want to be the bug king, or the termite king or queen. You have to figure that out, what it's going to be. But I would be, Keith, in your market, since you have luxury homes, I'd try to position myself there because the fees are a
Right.
lot better. And they don't care about the price.
Agreed. The one today, I mean, I said, well, why did you pick us? He said, well, you're number 1 on the Google search. I said, okay. I said, but did you call number 2? He says, yeah, but they didn't answer the phone. I said, okay. I said, did my office, provide you enough information to make an informed decision? And that's what it's all about. It's like customer service, just answering the phone, providing information to the consumer so they can make an informed decision and have all the other tools on top of it. Say, oh, you're bringing a termite guy, you're doing the pool, you're doing the generator, you're doing the mold. I don't need to go anywhere else. I think that's where the niche is in the industry. Being there and being present, have a good internet presence and going forth that way.
So I
Again,
couldn't agree
again,
more
with
with you.
on the back end, Ken, doing all the Facebook ads and the constant, specials that we run on Facebook, mold inspections and giving a discount on a home inspection. That brings a lot of interest back to the consumer.
I think that I would love to see you be able to replace ads with organic search. And content marketing is one of the way to do it. See, here's what happens with paid ads. People will say, I use Google ads, whether it's, pay-per-click or whatever. And I would say, well, how did that work out? And first of all, they don't track. So they say, oh, I think we made some money. And I said, okay, well, great. What kind of clients did that bring you? Well, they weren't that great. And I said, well, how come? And he said they were price driven. So ads um, are really like the old yellow pages. Okay, they don't know anything about your firm and they know they need an inspection, so they're going to call on somebody who's got something cheap. But you guys know, and I know that good quality isn't cheap. I mean, it's just not, good quality is good quality. It doesn't have to be excessively priced, but it has to be, you're not going to compete with 199 any home plus we'll give you a free reinspection. I mean, that's idiotic. Nobody, I mean,
Yeah.
hell, every one of you got them in your market. And
Yeah.
they're probably doing it now. But see, here's the thing. Okay, so when somebody comes and you're in the number one position in Google, or you're in the top three, in Google Business Profile. So what happens? This is where it's so important for you to have a converting website because most consumers first look at your reviews and then they go and look at your website. Okay, and so if the content hung on your website resonates with them, then that lead converts into a sale. So I asked one of our workshops, one of the last workshops we did before the COVID thing, I asked, how many of you had 100 more or people that booked online without you ever talking to the client? And they raised their hand. And I said, keep your hand up. How many had 200? They had more hands came up. How many had 300? Hands came up. More than 300 home inspections were booked on these folks' websites that we did because the content resonated with the home buyer.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want them to do is, yeah, I want them to go to Google, but I want them to solidify the decision based on that converting website. So when they call you, they're predisposed.
Oh, I agree with that. I'm agreeing with that. They do the search on Google, then they find us on the website and they look at our reviews, then they go straight to our website and schedule.
And that's where
That's
people miss
that's
it a lot of
that's that's
times.
what we're having, tremendous success in.
Yeah. And think about this. If you have a website that I'm just going to use the straight up word shitty, that doesn't convert anything, you pay for ads, you go to drive them to the website. And for goodness sakes, they drive them to the homepage, which is the worst. Then what happens is they don't convert and they can't understand why their ads don't convert. The second thing is if you get a cheap client, what kind of referrals are you going to get from? Are their friends going to be cheap too?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We don't want the cheap client. We don't want the cheap ones.
No, but that's what you get off ads. That's what you got off Yellow Pages. Okay, so content marketing. Okay, so think about this. Let's go back to our mold example. I have black mold in my shower. Thank goodness I don't, and we have white tile and white grout. Is that insane or what? But anyway, the fact of the matter is that they have mold and they don't know what to do. Okay, or they see mold in a home they're buying. Okay, or thinking about it. They go in and type in this article or type in these keyword searches. Okay, and we can tell you exactly what they're typing in. And then what happens is they read your article. Now, Google recognizes your IP address and they recognize the searcher's IP address. So if your IP address is close to the searcher's, and you publish that article, it's going to show up in the search engines for a local audience to read. So the person reads all about your article, or reads your blog post or watches your video, and then you could drive them to a specific landing page. So if you do mold, okay, well, I'm going to call it indoor air quality. Why wouldn't you set up a page not just for buyers and sellers, but for allergists,
No.
for others? Have a landing page that appeals to a broader audience. But if you drive somebody to your homepage, I'll give you an example. I didn't know what Forex trading was. So some of my friends are involved in Forex. And so I said, I want to learn about it. So I looked on the internet, I typed in, Forex trading, and an article came up that was very interesting. The meta tag was good and the description of the article was good. I clicked on the link. It was a paid ad. I clicked on the link and it took me to their homepage. I couldn't find anything about Forex trading. So you know what I did? I left.
Hmm.
And you know what they did? Paid for a click and lost a potential customer. When we drive people to information or content that they're not interested in, we don't win. Okay, that's how powerful it is. But do you think people are searching the internet for things they want to know?
Man,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
crazy how much I'm on there. I'll get on YouTube even and try to find a quick solution for something like how to or whatever. And it's constant. Like if you think about it, I do it all day.
I mean, think
Question for
about,
Brandon. So Brandon, you search the internet pretty much. So you ever watch this guy, Gold Star Inspections out of Houston, Texas? Martin
I've
Clark.
I've not heard of Gold Star. I've heard of a handful of guys that have a pretty big following.
Let me tell you, this dude produces videos on each new construction he does, and he's got like thousands of views. And it's like, why can I not do that? You know what I mean? It's like a block. Like, I see all this stuff and it's like I want to do it, but I just can't do it. I was just it's just off topic. I just want
That's
to
no,
know
it's
content,
not,
though.
it's not off topic. It's
That's
right on the
content.
topic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right on the
It's like,
topic.
man, it's like this
Yeah.
dude is like posting probably 3 to 4 times a day on new construction, and his tagline is "That ain't right." And
I
it's like,
dig it. I
man,
dig
that
it. So he's
he has
positioned
got it
himself as a new
As the
construction expert.
as the expert of new
Yeah,
construction.
that's his superpower.
So
Yep,
who's going to calling people who are getting a new construction and they want a good inspector?
exactly. When you look at his YouTube, it's like his views are like in the thousands.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Keith, we had a new construction division, residential resale, and eaves. And our new construction videos were so successful, they had thousands and thousands of views. And the contractors would get on their subs and argue about who was right and all.
Right, I know, I know.
And I loved it,
Yeah.
because what happens is that they're generating the content now in the
He,
comments. It gets
he
more
has the
people
same thing,
involved.
Ken.
And
Yeah, he has the
yeah.
same rebuttal, and things he found where somebody, rebuttal against it, but it's just he has so much good content and so much following and reviews. It's like priceless.
So Brandon said it a minute ago when we were talking about it. He said, people really like to watch these things. Do you know how interesting home inspectors are, really? I mean, I would always say we're the best guests at a cocktail party. You know why? We got the coolest damn stories. Okay, now you can think of stories like I write a lot of times when I'm writing a blog post, I write about the raccoon story. But that lady was running for Secretary of State in Georgia and won, and she was my client. And they had a family of raccoons living in there. And the first thing you know, oh, there's a yellow stain on the ceiling. And they can't figure out what it is. Oh, Ken comes in and finds a whole family of raccoons in there. Okay, so there's all kinds of interesting stories.
Oh yeah.
Like how about the time I go out to inspect a rental property and the dude opens the door and a big old cloud of marijuana comes out the door. Okay, so I said to him, the first thing I said is, "Hey, I'm Ken, going to be an inspector today, but I guess nobody told you I was coming, huh?" And then he looked over there and I said, "That smells like some good shit," And then he's like, "All right." I said, "Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go down to the Waffle House and have breakfast and let y'all clear this fumes out of here, and then I'm gonna come back and do the inspection because now that I breathe your stuff, I'm hungry." And the guy laughed, and everybody laughed, and we were on down the road. Well, I can't tell you how many times I've told that story.
Yeah.
Okay, people love to hear the stories that you got to tell. You got great stories. Now, listen, if you were a damn accountant, no offense to my accountant friend, our CFO saves me a ton of money in Beth. Love the guy, dude. But my God, man, what are you going to talk about on video? Okay, let me write an article about the most recent tax change. Now, Maverick, I see him smiling, because the damn truth of it is, how would you like to be that guy? Okay,
Yeah.
from a content marketing perspective, today we're going to be talking about Bueller, really, Ferris Bueller's day off, dude, like no chance. So,
I think,
but home inspectors got the best stuff.
yeah. Joe, did you have a comment?
I did, and I was gonna tell Keith this instead of just doing that ain't right, he could do that isn't right and start his own.
Yeah, just change it up a little bit.
I'm
Well,
gonna tell you,
what is funny actually,
Joe, do you watch him, Joe?
I've seen a few, but I try to stay away from that.
Oh, Joe, he's got some good stuff, man.
yeah,
And not get
He's
in
got
that.
some good stuff.
I've seen some
Try
of
not
that
to
kind of
get down
stuff.
those rabbit holes.
In fact, when we had just a few weeks ago started our flag football team for our son, I'm coaching the team and was introducing myself to one of the kids' dads, and we were just chatting about what we do for a living and stuff. And I said, oh, we own a home inspection company. He's like, oh, there's this guy, I watch him and he's so funny. We look at him with my kids every night, on as we're getting ready for bed or whatever. So I mean, here in Idaho, he's showing up for guys, and
Dude,
he's
that's
doing inspections in
priceless.
Texas.
That's priceless stuff right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot pay for that stuff, for the repercussions of those videos.
do you think he has to run paid ads?
No.
Thank you.
No,
This is
no.
what I'm saying, guys.
No.
Find your superpower. You know what happens is, and Joe, I would say this to you, most of your competitors are really not worth paying attention to. But somebody has a good idea about even if it's not a subject you agree with, look at positioning. Whether whether you want to position yourself in a different way, this guy has taken what we're talking about right now to the nth degree and positioned himself as the expert. And his schedule is full. Okay, so there it is.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of something funny, but I don't know how you would market it, but you could say, I'm not a deal killer. But how would you market that properly without sounding like you're not a bad inspector that doesn't
Okay.
find anything?
So I'm going to go back to a thing Dan Kennedy, the great Dan Kennedy, still alive. He's just really old now, but he was the best marketer ever. I mean, the guy's just, if you want to read about him, you can read all about him. But I was a Dan Kennedy student, and one of the things he taught it was message to market match. Does the message that you're conveying match the market you're going after? So the message that you just conveyed right there to us is the perfect message for the real estate agents. We won't kill your deal. Okay, and then you go on to explain how that works. And we've done it. So believe me, I know that. Okay, but the second thing is consumers think that home inspectors in many cases are in cahoots with the real estate agents. Okay, and so that would be the last thing that you'd want to say to that market. So what you'd want to say is, we find more problems with homes, so you don't have to pay, for all these post-closing expenses that were undisclosed. That we have a whole message. So the message to the consumer is, we're thorough, we're professional, we're so thorough you can sleep at night and not have to worry about finding post-closing expenses. Okay, that's the message you want to do that. So if you're going to go directly to the consumer, which I want you to, then what happens is the message would be, we're the most thorough inspection out there, and here's why and what it means to you. I like to lead with the benefits. You don't want to worry about when you close on that home, sleep sound tonight, select us as your home inspector. Okay, so I'd want you to pitch that message. But the message that we won't kill your deal is a fabulous message for the real estate agents, as long as you explain it.
It's definitely targeted to agents.
Yeah, definitely. And you can do that. I mean, that's a very good thing, because what it really means is this, and I said it to a million agents over the years, we won't kill your deal. And I'd say it right out loud in meetings. And I said, but let me explain to you what that means. Let me ask you this. When the home inspector makes mistakes on the inspection and the client calls you back, how do you feel about that? Well, I feel terrible. Well, do you call the home inspector? Yes. And have you ever seen any of the situation any good come from that situation? Not really. And I said, do you lose that client as a sphere of influence? And they say yes. So I said, here's our goal. Our goal is to be thorough, but not nitpicky so that you don't get callbacks. Okay. And that's what we mean. We're not going to kill your deal. We're going to be thorough, but we're not going to be nitpicky, because if we're nitpicky, that's no good. And if we're not thorough, you get callbacks and you lose a potential client as a referral source. So if you explain it like that, they get that completely. Okay. So, but you do start off with what happens, because I don't know if you read nonverbal body language. 80% of what's communicated is nonverbal. So you see these old women sitting around in the sales office, they got their arms crossed like this. They got their arms crossed. They ain't listening to a thing you say. So I would go into a real estate office and said, I really feel bad for you guys. And they're like, what's this home inspector saying? And I'd say, you know what? A lot of home inspectors out here in the market don't really care about you at all. They don't care to kill your deal. You know what? And I bet that really hurts your commission income. And they're like that. And I said, the difference between them and us, we don't kill your deal. And now I got their attention. And then I say what that means. Okay, thank you. But it's a message and market match, and that works very, very well. And it's the same way on positioning. You've just positioned yourself with the real estate agents as a non-deal killer. So that positioning is perfect for that market. I think you should keep doing it. If you're not doing it, you should do it more. So, but I'd like for you to find something else in the market that you could position yourself as well. Okay, whatever that happens to be, I don't know. Okay, let's look at this. What strategies can home inspectors use to maintain a content creation schedule? You got Keith. I know that we do it for you, but Maverick, I don't know you personally. So, do you create content now, and do you have a schedule? In other words, when am I going to produce a blog post? When am I going to produce a video? Or even if you don't do it, that's fine. I mean, hopefully this discussion will help you see some new things if you're not doing it now.
Yeah, none really, honestly. Well, first off, I'm not the inspector. I'm more like
Ah,
the operations manager.
good.
So on this company,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
that's why I'm here. I want to learn how we can like market things and everything, and I'm learning a lot today, really.
Fantastic, Maverick. We're glad to have you. Listen, you come on anytime. This is free for you. We do it free for everybody. You just guys come on. We'll keep having the discussions. Keith, I know we do it for you. Brandon, we do it mostly for you. Joe, how about yourself? Do you create content now, and do you have a schedule that you use?
I do have a Facebook page for the business. I currently only create posts if I encounter something I feel is post worthy, and that's very subjective. Something I think I can either make a joke about or this or that. I recently talked to someone and said I should be consistently doing at least 2 a week. And when I stopped and thought about that, I'm like, I can probably come up with something twice a week. That wouldn't be hard to do. Instead of when I just encounter things and I'm like, oh, I can make a witty joke out. Most of my stuff, if you look, it's just kind of witty joke type stuff and goofy things that I encounter. More of a lighthearted, silly themed, not like educational type stuff, or safety tips. It's more just the goofy stuff you encounter as a home inspector. But twice a week, I think I can do that, and I was gonna try to start doing that consistent and just be consistent and disciplined. And one strategy would maybe be just set my phone up to go off and a reminder twice a week to just post something.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Let me just share with you a little story about my own self, and I'll just tell on me. And I'm an excellent marketer. I mean, this is what I do for a living, write copy and do other things. But when I first started this in the home inspection business, I made a big old mistake. Honestly, I made a big mistake. I wrote about things I thought the clients would find interesting. And you know what happens is that didn't work. Because what I thought they might find interesting and what they actually wanted to know were two completely different things. So I know Beth has stepped away from the call, but Dill, if you just make a note, we have a list of questions that I produced. We can take a handful of those for radon, what people are asking, like ask the public, whatever. We have some
Mhm.
questions on all of it. If you just make a note, and what we'll do in here after the call, we'll post a group of questions for 2 or 3 services, so you can see what we're talking about. But what happens is when the internet came about, and we actually were able to learn what people were asking on the internet, I said, ooh, it was an epiphany. The light bulb came on for Ken. I said, I would rather write an article about what somebody was interested in than to write an article about what I thought they might be interested in, because I want those people to read my content and convert into a customer for me. Okay, so I would encourage you to 2 blog posts a week is too much for you, truthfully. Don't start there. Start smaller, 1 a week. Take some of these questions we're going to put in here. Excuse me, I got terrible congestion today. Take some of the questions we're going to give you here
Might
and
have
think
some
about
mold
writing
in
a
your
quick
house.
article about that.
You might have some mold in your house.
What's that?
You might have some mold in your house.
Yeah, listen, if you got anything you can test up here for me,
I do. I can.
come on over, babe. I'll
mold
put
test.
you up. We got an ensuite for you right over here at the house.
And
Now,
bring
we
some
won't-
crawfish.
We will have a bowl right there in the backyard. We got a big old backyard. We'll
Oh,
have a
you don't
bowl.
want too much now.
And
Now,
some
we
of that
don't-
crawfish cornbread.
It's
Yeah, it
it's
looked
all-
good, didn't it?
Yeah, that sounds
Yes.
really good. So it's all you can eat. Just bring your mold gear and come on here and stay at the house. But what happens is I'd rather for you to pick a blog post that somebody is asking for you. So Joe, let me ask you this. Do you provide other services beside the standard home inspection?
Radon, WDI pest, and mold and IAQ.
Okay, so we'll just put a few questions in about mold, a few questions in about, standard home inspections, radon, a couple of things. We'll put a few of those questions in. I have a whole list by everyone. I think it's on the main Home Inspector Help site for our paid clients. But I'll pull a few questions off. And what you'll see is, here's what people are asking. And you'll actually see the search volume, how many people are asking a month. Okay, and so what happens is I would encourage you then to take that, what people are asking and want to know about, and spend your time doing one blog post a week. Even if you did 2 a month, even if you did 1 a month, at the end of 12 months, you got 12. Okay, so the key is consistency. And everybody tries to start too big. I say start small, Okay, so I would love to see you say, okay, here's an idea too that you could say, okay, here's how you could write a blog post in reverse. So you see something on a home inspection that's really cool or interesting. For instance, one of the things we had in North Georgia, we had a lot of concrete block foundations. Well, when you have a negative slope that comes back to the house, not only was it leaking, but they would get not just step cracks, but they'd get horizontal cracks big time where the foundation was about to implode. And you'd see people had 2x4s nailed up there and all that, trying to prevent that. Okay, so what I did a video about it. And then from the video, I wrote a blog post and added the photos from that particular job. Okay, and nobody could identify somebody's house from that. Okay, so it wasn't a personal thing. So I just did it in reverse. I saw something that was very interesting, people in North Georgia would be interested in, then I made a blog post from a video, but that's not usually how I work. I usually do the based on what somebody's asking, I write a blog post about that, and then what I do is produce other social media. Let me say the team does. I don't personally do it. So I think that one post a week about what questions people are asking and specialties and services that you provide would be plenty. And get them up on the and I'll show you some resources in that where you can go and learn all kind of things about it. Some websites that we have are absolutely free to you guys. Okay, so content creation schedule. Here's how we do it in the home inspection side. We pick a theme for the month. Okay, so the theme would be radon for January, or maybe it's December because January is National Radon Month. So we pick a theme. Okay, and maybe we pick a theme each month. Okay, and then we write all of our content for content marketing is based on that theme. Okay, that keeps it very simple in your content calendar. Okay, the same way we do here. For instance, this month deal, you'll have to tell me what this month is, but whether it's I think it's converting websites. Okay, and everything we produce this month is converting websites. And next month, everything we will produce is related to Google Business Profile. And then the next month will be video marketing. So every month we're producing content about those things that home inspectors want to know from us. So by doing it in a monthly theme makes it way easier for you. One blog post a week, a month, even if you did it. Okay. All right. So content creation, if you have a written schedule and you follow it, so this month I'm going to do this. Now we work 3 months in advance. Okay. If you can work 3 months in advance with your content calendar, fabulous. If you can work 1 month in advance, that's fabulous. So the theme this month is radon, or the theme this month is mold, or the theme this month is other specialty services that you offer. Okay. So I look to see if there's any questions being asked on the internet about that theme topic, and then we write about those that month. Okay, so it just makes it very easy for your content calendar to go that way. And Maverick, if you're not doing it, that's what you guys should do. If you offer specialty services besides a home inspection, let's say you offer radon testing. So radon testing would be December, really, I would for January. And then I would pick whatever ancillary services that you have each month, see what people are asking on the internet, and then write about those topics based on that theme per month. And your content calendar will be completely simplified. Okay, but if you just say we're going to write this, write this, write this, you have no consistency, it doesn't happen, you know, that kind of thing. And from a blog post, we always create a video and social media posts from every blog post, every blog post. Okay, so it all starts with a blog post. Okay, and creating a content schedule is the way that you'll get her done quick. But again, start small, start really small. Okay. So let me ask you this. Have any of you, are you guys familiar with the concept of repurposing? Have you heard that before, the repurposing? I'm going to say, okay, so most home inspectors haven't heard of it. Okay, so let's say, and let's just use a social media post that you put in there. One that today you looked at, you got some likes, some shares, and said, so it was a fairly successful post. Do you think you could ever use that again?
Yep,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
So you've repurposed that content. Now, maybe one do is brush it up. But what happens is if you have a article that really on your blog post is it's resonating with the consumers, or you can go to Google Analytics and you can see which posts are getting views, how much time is on the page, where the traffic is coming from, everything you want to know from Google Analytics. Okay, so if you see that your content is resonating with readers, then why couldn't you brush that up? You know what we do? We add a new video to that existing content, and then we repurpose it again. Or we change photographs, or we do whatever, and we repurpose it on one of our other blogs. Okay, so repurposing content allows you to produce great content once and use it over and over. Okay, you don't have to create new content each week. And so, Joe, you get 12 posts up in 12 months. Guess what happens? 6 of those you could repurpose for the next year. Okay, so I mean, because bank on the person that saw your radon post in December or January ain't gonna be the same one seeing it this December or January, are they?
Can I repurpose all my holiday ones on Facebook?
There you go. There you go. Chances are nobody's gonna remember from last year, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you start re-gifting, that's a whole different story. You get a gift you don't like at Christmas and you give it to somebody else next Christmas. We're not really talking about re-gifting, we're talking about repurposing. So repurposing of content is really, really good. So if we have a video that's really performing well on YouTube, we'll take that video and stick it in the middle of a blog post. Okay, so because we know it performed well on YouTube, why wouldn't it perform well inside that blog post about the same topic? Okay, so repurposing content allows you to achieve your content marketing goals without having to produce boatloads of new content each month. And you should say, when you produce the content, you should have a column on your Google Doc that says, put an R in there for repurpose. It performed well, you're going to repurpose it. So it works into your content calendar. Okay, if it's a post you're not going to repurpose, then just either put an X or an N that you're not going to repurpose it. Okay, but good content can be used over and over.
Well, and one tool to kind of help with this, I don't know if you guys use Canva much or not, or heard of it, but it's a really powerful software, I guess you call it, right?
It's a software, sure.
Yeah, and we use it, and there's a way that you can actually schedule in different posts. You can link it to your social media, and so really, one of the things that a lot of inspectors really have a hard time with is time blocking and dedicating a chunk of time to certain projects, right? And so that's where if you can just, block out a couple hours a week to some of the marketing tasks and maybe say 1 hour is dedicated just to content marketing. You can take an hour a week to shoot some content, another hour that week, maybe the next month or week, to, schedule out some of your posts, create your posts, and then you actually schedule out in ahead of time so that you're not having to do it every day, or it just being able to schedule it makes it a lot easier.
I
Called
know
time
that
blocking.
everybody that has a schedule, it works way better.
No.
You just can't not do it without a schedule for repurposing. Let's talk about one other thing. I will tell you, I'm going to go back to positioning for just a second. I'll go to an event, whether I'm the speaker at our own events or I'm speaking at someone else's event, and invariably somebody will come up and introduce themselves and they'll say to me this over and over. I've heard this hundreds of times. I feel like I know you personally. And I said, well, that's awesome. Help me understand how you got that feeling. And they said, I watched every video you have on the internet. Okay. So what did I do? I'm trying to position myself as a thought leader in the industry, as an expert to help home inspectors achieve their dreams in the home inspection business. And when people watch my videos, they feel that way. Okay. So the fact of the matter is, why can't you do that? Now, I don't always get in front of the camera. I certainly do get in front of the camera, even though I have a face for radio. I still get in front of the camera, but you can do it from behind the camera just as easy. Okay, so we used to do home inspector marketing minutes, and I'd be in front of the camera, and we'd be a green screen, and we have all kind of things. Today, you don't even have to do that. It's super easy. You can take a Zoom platform or whatever you want to use to do it. But Canva, if you're not familiar with it, it's super easy. I mean, our team uses it every day. We have a pro version because we use it every day for things. You can create original graphics and funny memes and all the kind of things that you want to produce on Canva. And I think they have a free version that you can get in there and use. So that's a great tip, Brandon. Canva is a great tip.
I've gotten on there, Ken and Brandon, and I struggle with navigating and figuring out how maybe I need to watch some tutorials on YouTube or something
On Canva.
Regarding how to Canva.
Mm-hmm.
Out of Canva, there you go.
How to Canva, yeah.
They got a lot of great videos about it.
Yeah.
And once you get used to it, Joe, the program is really super easy and intuitive. And once you get started with it, man, you're going to be addicted to it. It's like, okay, I can make that. I can do this. I can do that. Now
Yeah,
we
I'd
have
love to make postcards or this or that or whatever, things to post up on the Facebook page or print. It's just a matter of the how-to. So
Mhm.
Yeah, one thing that we use it for really steady, and it does help. We have actually an in-house full-time marketing person. So she helps with the content, she makes the designs, so I don't really use Canva myself personally. But one of the things that we do is we create a graphic in Canva, and we actually text it out to our agents individually. But we also post it to our social media. We upload it to our website. It goes in our client newsletters every other week, so twice a week that goes out, and agent newsletter for that too. But that's just another example of using that's just another version of content. We're making an offer every month, something different, and it's just another cool thing to do. But that's just a little template in Canva. We just plug in a little picture or something. Like, for example, we'll probably do for October, we do infrared scans or infrared inspections. We'll find a little picture of what one of the guys took of some water intrusion or something, and throw that in as the little backdrop on the offer. It'll be something kind of silly, Halloween related, looking for ghosts or something with the infrared camera and whatnot. And that's just another post for us.
Yeah, it's so simple and so easy to do. And when you do a blog post, if you do on your blog, which is attached to it should be attached to your website. If you do a blog post with no graphics, people don't read it. People enjoy the graphics. So Canva is a way to produce quick graphics that fit the discussion that you're talking about. And Dill and our team, we have a whole creatives department that's all they do is these kind of things. So, and I'll show you some examples in a minute. We'll show you a couple examples of how we use content marketing. It's in safe. I'll show you, Dill is going to pull up some examples of our websites in just a minute that you guys can go to and learn all about a variety of different things, but you'll see how we use content marketing. But Canva, we use every day. It's just a very valuable tool. So I would learn, Joe, if you're still doing a one-man shop and you're kind of doing it all, just take a quick tutorial or two and then you'll have it. But repurposing your content, I'm back to that for a minute, because if we had to produce brand new content, when you see the content demands that we have, if we had to produce brand new content on every site we did and every blog post that we did, we would just be nothing but a content machine. So repurposing is a way to do it. All right, one last thing I want to talk about. And I alluded to it a minute ago. How many of you ever look at Google Analytics on your website? Anybody ever look at Google Analytics? I mean, I think that's the most important thing. See, here's what happens is you can put up things that you think are good. And you can put up things that you think are going to get you leads. I hear people all the time, I'll say, how many leads do you get from a website? Well, they'll say, I think my website's pretty good. Some of the agents say something about it. They like it or whatever, this, that, and the other. And I said, well, okay, that's fantastic. How many leads do you get a month from your website? And they don't know. And the reason they don't know is because they never look at their analytics. But if you look at the analytics of your website, you'll see how many conversions you get. You can set up goals for conversions. You can set up goals for everything. But even without that, you can see how your content is performing, how many people viewed it, unique visitors, how many people returned and viewed it, how many people actually took action that you wanted them to take on it. Where did the visitor come from? Did they look at any other pages of your content besides the page they landed on? Okay, so much of the information that you need to make business decisions about content marketing come right from your analytics, and it's free. Okay, talking about you have to do a little how-do. How do I do it? Okay, get on Google, and what happens is you'll find, or YouTube, you'll find videos on how to do it. And we teach our clients how to use what we call key performance indicators, or KPIs. These are the things that we want to measure to determine the health of our website and other pieces of content. So KPIs are a very, very important thing. Okay. So Dill, are you set up where you could show some of the blogs? I can stop sharing and you share some of our blog sites so the guys can see what kind of content I'm talking about?
Sure can.
Okay, let me just stop sharing. I'm not sure I know how to do it. Okay, I'm gonna say end of slideshow, and I'm gonna go here.
I'm gonna jump off here in a few minutes, if you can.
Yeah. Got it, Mr. Brandon. Got the coaching hat on today. And Dill, let's see, maybe I go here. And let's see, I'm not seeing how I stop sharing. Can you stop me from sharing? Yeah, I think you're still the host. Let me see if I click this off. Let me just try some here. All right, and let me see if I can get a message here. And I want to cancel. I want to minimize that. And I do not know how to stop sharing. Yeah. I don't have any of those URLs on saved here on my screen.
There
we go.
there.
Okay, so I'm going to make it full screen. Okay, so this is the Savvy Inspector. Okay, and so many of these images are generated from Canva. So Dill, click on any post. I don't care which one. Okay, so what happens is when you look at this, here's a post for us. Our blog has 3 columns. Okay, so scroll down slowly, please. So what's going to happen is on our post, we put key takeaways. Okay, so because what we want you to do is, if we're going to ask you to invest your time in reading the article, I want you to know right up front what the key takeaways are going to be. I'm a busy person. I want to know what I'm going to do before I invest my time in reading your content. So let's scroll on down. So we tell you what you're going to learn, and then we keep going down. See how we have different graphics. These are Canva pieces. Okay, so you can go right on here and do it. And we've inserted them in different places in the text to make the blog post interesting to look at. So readers will continue to read on down. Let's go back to our homepage. Let's just pick another blog and let's take a look at it. And all these are available for you to look at. We'll publish the list. Let's look at a different platform. Yeah, digital marketing or whatever. Okay, this happens to be digital marketing for home inspectors. This is one of the properties we own. And you can see that we're using videos right up here at the top to get clients engaged. Okay, so if you want to see a video, you can do it. Okay, scroll down a little bit. Okay, so look what we've done here. We put an ad in for you to join our newsletter. Okay, no, this is on Home Inspector Huddle. Then we have trending stories. Click on one of the trending stories, Mr. Dillon, and you'll see what happens is that we're doing the blog post the same way. 3 columns, a graphic at the top, which comes from Canva, key takeaways. Let's scroll on down. And then here's a video, okay? So could you put your crazy snake video or whatever you see? Here's a link to another place. Let's keep going down, okay? And then what happens, of course, here's a subscribe for something else, okay? Scrolling down. You may not have ads in yours. These ads are just for our products. This right here is if you want to join the Home Inspector Huddle. Look how we do discover social media marketing. Click here. I mean, we have all kind of different things in here. So we'll get you a list of all the properties. You can go in and take a look at them. You should have a bio box. You know, you can take a look at them and see how content marketing works for our firm. Okay, so Bill, if you don't mind, we'll put those links in a post there and, you know, in the Home Inspector Huddle. So or under this video when it gets up. Okay, questions about content marketing because it's so important for home inspectors for positioning and lead generation. Anybody got any last things they want to talk about before we get out? Nothing.
All I can say is content is king.
You know, and I think the thing about it is, and don't repeat the mistake I made when I first started. I thought I could write about things you'd be interested in as a consumer. That was trash. Write about things they're interested in, their search about. Okay, I'd rather, you know, Dan Kennedy said to us one day, he said, would you rather stand in front of a hungry crowd with a hot dog wagon, or would you rather convince somebody they were hungry? And I was thinking about that for a minute, and I said, I think I'm going to stand in front of the hungry crowd with a hot dog wagon. Well, that's what you do when you write about things people are interested in. They tell you they're interested in, all you do is provide them the information. Okay, so we don't have to guess what they might be interested in. And when we did that, when we made that change, our firm continued to explode because now we're positioning ourselves, we're introducing ancillary services based on what they're interested in. Okay, so it's a winner. Content marketing is the king to today's marketing. You don't getting out and selling, calling 1,000,000 times on the phone, no good. This is the way to do it. It's been the way for a long time, but you know, small business owners, don't feel bad. Your plumbers and electricians and all this don't do this either as much as they should. So it's not just home inspectors, it's small business owners in general. Big companies do it every day of the week. If you don't believe it, look at their ads everywhere. Their content is everywhere because they understand the value of it. Okay. Unless there's any questions, I'm finished for tonight, and I hope that we'll see you next Thursday night. I think we're going to be talking about, Dylan, tell me if I'm wrong, some aspects of make a website, how to increase the more visitors to become your customers using your website, and some cool techniques.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I love that topic.
Yeah, that's a great topic. I love that topic too. Everybody have a great week. Think about this. What's my superpower? Okay, can I select a superpower, and then how can I position myself as number one in that superpower in my market? And if you have questions or comments, throw them in the huddle. You know, we get in there and answer questions, so it's easy for you to go that way. All right, Brandon, don't let anybody hit you in the head with a football.
Yep.
Have a good evening, everyone.
All right,
Thank
see
you.
everybody. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.